All right, I think we're live, man. What did you say just before I jumped on this?
Well, I guess you were trying to set up your microphone, and all I heard was a bunch of fumbling around. So all I see is like your team name, which is nothing but fumbles, and you fumbling the microphone to get set up here. So I thought that was pretty funny.
All right, man. Well, I hope that you save some better trash talking than that for this call, because I'm gonna school you if you didn't.
That was 4 seconds into the call and already starting to light, huh? Starting to talk that shit. So
Yeah, man.
all
Man,
right.
look at this. Let the games begin. Like Linda, um, that is a natural hype woman right there. If I've ever seen it, I couldn't have said it better than myself. Let the games begin, man. Unfantasy football 2022. Is that what year we are?
I think so. I lost track a couple years ago, but super excited to have Linda in this league. I mean, she is an amazing person, really fun to hang out with, be around. She loves football. She's really going to enjoy this game. I know it. We all are. And you know, all the weeks that she's not ahead of me in the standings, I'll be rooting for her.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about this stuff. So this is something that came together quickly, but not, right? This is something that we've been working on for the better part of 7 years with unfantasy or unfan, the concept of it's not about the teams that you love, it's about the teams that you love to hate. Your line is you can be a fan of one team, but an unfan of 31 teams. And this is something that we started 7 years ago as a play to learn e-commerce, and it ended up becoming a content play that created this company and put this to where we are now, which is doing concerts. I was going to say music videos. But I was going to say video machines. I don't know why I was saying that, but we've done a bunch of different stuff. But basically, all started here, man. And very cool to go back to the future because some of the stuff that we've been doing is figuring out how newer technology can kind of help the creator economy and stuff. So blockchain and NFTs kind of allowed this to resurface and do what we've always talked about doing, which was some sort of unfantasy football league, man.
Yeah, we gamified that whole project, which again was it happened really quickly, but it also allowed us to truly understand the building the game mechanics and really seeing how this is all going to play out. And everything we've seen thus far is it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And so, like, let's start with the beginning because when we were developing these logos, we obviously wanted to make fun of the teams. We wanted to do it in a fun, clean way. We didn't really want to get too arrogant with it. Some of them kind of took a pivot, and we modified a bunch of them. But I think we have a really solid, cool collection. The artwork itself, forget about the game, forget about the project. Like, it's really cool to see these things. Like, I am attracted to seeing one of them and being magnetized to see all 31 others. Even if it's the team, even if it's my team that's being made fun of. I mean, I just really wanted to see, how we were able to think this process through, and I'm drawn to like make sure that I love all 31 of these different types of logos, which is really cool. What's your favorite one, man?
My favorite one is right here, man. The Patriots one. I'm a diehard Patriots fan. If you know me, you know. But I think it's awesome because I think you have like these haters out there that are just calling people cheaters, and you got to own it, right? You got to own it and take that joke away from them. So I think it's funny, man, getting inside your heads with the Patriots logo. What about you?
I mean, it's really difficult for me to pick just one, just because I love so many of them. I'm a big fan of the Cardinals one. Definitely like the way that one came out with the Angry Birds concept. I really like the Eagles one as well. The little cooking the bird in the oven. Obviously down here in South Florida, it's hard to not fall in love with the Miami one as well. There's so many details in that one that just make it so unique and so cool to look at. But there's been like, looking back, there's a few of them that we spent a lot of time and we're banging our heads against the wall. And one of the ones that really sticks out as part of my all-time favorite is the Baltimore one, just because we were able to incorporate, Edgar Allan Poe and obviously showcase some pretty detailed artwork in that particular logo.
See, you can still see my screen. I'm changing to the Parody Tees original site. You see it? I'm
Yep.
not looking at your. I got you blocked off, man. So I don't have to look at you when we're talking.
Getting a
Um,
little sunburnt anyway.
I kind of did notice that, man. I didn't want to bring it up because But you went to the beach or something?
Yeah, I ended up with the beach and forgot to put sunscreen on. So
All right. Well,
what are you gonna do?
I hope you didn't forget to your football knowledge. So this is some of these logos that you were chatting about. It's stuff that we've had up and not done a lot with because the content world took us in other areas, but it's stuff that we've left up and people continue to rip off the logos, sell it on Amazon. Newspapers have used this stuff when teams have come in. These tiny and whiny ones are very accurate. What did you say you like the Ravens one?
Yeah, I like the Baltimore one, man. I really thought that one came out good with the detail.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nevermore. Yeah, the idea is to make good, clean fun of the teams, and I selfishly like it because you can kind of wear these colors, but without being bad to your team. So I love wearing the Dolphins one and the Dolphins colors. I wouldn't be caught otherwise in them. So these are some of the stuff that we started, but let's chat about specifically what we're doing. And I know we've put this together and we want to make sure that it's a unique new concept. And we've batted our heads to make sure that it's simple and easy to understand. But it is a new concept. So I do want to just kind of go over the game mechanics and talk a little bit about the overall collection and why we're doing this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few moving parts to this, so I'm glad that we were able to schedule this and really just kind of get this information slash shit talking video out in the world. So, um, you're still sharing your screen. Let me pop in and share mine so I could
You're always trying.
walk you through some
You're
of
like a
the
one up.
elements here.
You're a one upper.
I am a one upper. I'll be one upping you in the standings too. Um, all right, so this is the website unfan.xyz. This will basically be the air traffic control center for you to manage your unfantasy football team throughout the course of the season. So let's start with some of the just traditional basics on how the game should be viewed and how it differs from traditional fantasy. First and foremost, unlike traditional fantasy, this is heavily focused on the teams rather than the players. So you're not necessarily going to have to worry about the individual positions on various teams, whether they're playing, whether they're injured, any of those things. This is all statistically based around the team stats and the team results. So what are those results that you're looking for that ultimately give you points to your team? Well, first, on the plus side, you will be awarded points when your given playing card turns the ball over throughout their respective games. There will also be points allowed, punts kicked, if they lose the game, and the accumulation of penalty yards. And we'll go through these individually in a couple minutes, but this is basically just the 3,000-foot view. On the negative side, you will actually lose points if your teams accumulate takeaways, which are fumble recoveries, and interceptions. Based on however many points they score, how many extra points and field goals are made, and if they win the game. So, I guess to summarize all the reasons you're traditionally yelling at your TV because your team sucks, you're awarded for those moments. All the times where you traditionally cheer because your team does good, you are now penalized for those moments. And that's really the long and short of like how the game should be viewed and shift your understanding on how to watch football throughout the course of this year. So we're gonna dive into basically the official playbook, which will be modified accordingly and updated throughout the course of the season. But this is essentially the first draft and the first go at it. Um, the the Unfantasy Football League, your franchise starts with ownership of what we're calling the Unfan Owners Pass. Now, the Unfan Owners Pass is essentially it's your ticket into the league, and it's the start and the birth of your franchise year after year. So let me showcase what the owner's pass really looks like because there is a collection, and these are all the owners in the league thus far. I'll just pull a random one and click on this one. Turns out it's the Steelers. So the Unfantasy Pass, it has the token ID, or the unique identifying number associated in the artwork, as well as the metadata of the NFT space.
Yeah, it's
A
the amount. It's
randomly
the amount. It's the number of the person that owns that pass, right? So it's a founder's pass, inaugural pass. This one happens to be the 14th person, so everyone is individually numbered. So
Correct. And they don't really mean anything other than that. It's your identifying number. It's basically your profile number, your admission ticket number, however you want to classify it. But the identifier of it is completely arbitrary, other than the fact that you are one of the original owners in this Unfantasy Football League. The other cool element here is a randomly generated parody logo. This again is completely randomized. There will be some game mechanics associated with that. It's funny because like I'm sharing my screen and Peyton's contacting me, so saying that that's her owner's pass. So I'm going to get rid of Discord. um, so the randomly generated parody logo. This is another really cool feature. There will be some game mechanics that are yet to be revealed associated with this logo, but we understand that it is a completely randomized system. So therefore, the mechanics will not really be anything specific that you would have to do as an owner. It would just be an add-on to whatever gamified system we decide to add to it later on is. Obviously, this whole process is brought to you by Parody Tees. So that logo is front and center as the primary sponsor of the league. We had some really cool iterations of the dude, we call him, and we turned it actually into a GIF or GIF. I don't know how to say it, but it is essentially this is all lives on the artwork as part of the NFT and as of the collective. So it's really cool to see, motion graphics as part of an NFT. It will live there. You can see it's moving right now. And the final piece of this puzzle here is the customization of your Unfantasy team name. Now, Peyton, you and I are going to have words because you haven't registered your team, nor have you picked your Unfantasy team name yet. But let's pick one here that has it. So we can showcase exactly what that looks like. So this is team name Keeping Up with the Joneses. So whatever you decide your fantasy team name to be, that will be updated not only in the artwork, but in the metadata associated with each of these pieces as well. Now, before we jump into the next section here, I just really want to iterate something kind of important. Web3 and Web2 and NFTs and metadata and all these big words that typically scare people away. This is a really cool project just to kind of dive into the deep end of Web3. You don't need to understand Web3. You don't need to understand NFTs. This is just a piece of this overall game. It's not the definition of the game. There will be elements that are very heavily focused on Web3, different applications that you can incorporate. But everything that you're going to be able to do, you have an equal advantage of being in the Web 2 space or the Web 3 space. But if you're trying to understand Web 3, if you're trying to get into NFTs, you don't know what it's about, you hear this digital wallet term and you don't know where it's going, this is a really cool way to understand it and learn it, because we're going to be pumping out some explainer videos, just different ways on how you can onboard yourself in a really cool, safe, and fun project.
Yeah, man, I think just piggybacking off that real quick and summarizing it, this is designed where you don't need to be into the NFT world or even want to. Preferably and ideally you are, or at least want to be, because we have some really cool onboarding and educational materials that, like you said, there's a lot of scary terms out here that scare people away. But I know we firmly believe that this is the future of really a lot of different things. So we're excited about it. It's a cool way to kind of, not just the deep end. I think this is kind of the shallow end in a lot of ways, because it's safe, it's cool, it's fun, all in one. Because a big part of these things that's different from regular fantasy football, besides the bizarre world of being on fantasy, is that these are digital collectibles. These are NFTs. Like, you own these, so they it's not a player that goes away and you have to redraft. A lot of ways, there's going to be some really cool things that we can do along the way, and we're in it for the long haul. So I'm excited about that. And we have some hecklers already. Gi said he doesn't like my shirt. which I mean, I could take it off, but I think he would hate that even more. Or
I
maybe I don't
vote
know.
no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. One vote. Maybe I'll vote yes. We'll figure out the tiebreaker here if someone else has one going. But it's a simple way. It's a simple way to have fun, learn about the NFT space. But if you don't want to, you don't necessarily have to. But you own these things, man. You own it. You own a part of this inaugural season that we have some fun things planned for. So
Yep, and this again is only the start. So things are going to evolve throughout the course of the season. But to kick things off, once you get your official owner's pass, which let me just show how to get that. It's pretty simple and straightforward. On the website, unfan.xyz, you would just click on the owner's pass in the menu bar. It brings you to the owner's pass page, and it gives you the option to either purchase the owner's pass traditionally with a credit card, or if you are already into NFTs or you have a digital wallet, you're eligible to mint it directly from the site as well. So there's two ways to get the same things. Again, just creating parallel paths and opening the doors for people to hop into this league, regardless if you understand NFTs or not. So that's really the basics on how you would be able to get that. Once you complete the registration process on getting your owner's pass, you will be sent the owner's pass, or it will be sent to your digital wallet, along with a basic detailed email on what the next steps are and what the details that I covered already on the owner's pass as part of the logo and the ID, and then obviously your
so
fantasy team name.
so essentially this owner's pass is like your season ticket, but it's a season ticket that doesn't end, right? So you're going to have access to this stuff going forward. So that's your owner's pass. When you get an owner's pass, which you can either do through a PayPal or credit card, or if you're already in the digital space and you have a digital wallet like a MetaMask, you can do it that way. But when you get this owner's pass, from there you get a starter pack, right? So there's 5 cards that this is your game mechanics. This is the stuff that you're gonna play with. You're going to get 5 different cards in the 5 categories that score in this league, and that happens seamlessly. You don't need to do anything other than go and check out which cards that you got. Linda asked if we'll do this every year. Yeah, this is the plan. This is something that doesn't end. When you own these things and these inaugural season passes, it's gonna come over for next year as well. So lots of cool things. You can have a season winner. You can have an all-time winner. And I'm competitive, so I plan on being that.
Yeah, so let's jump right into the playing cards then, since you brought it up. The playing cards themselves will have three randomly generated gaming features as part of each card. So this is kind of a snapshot of a sample card. As you can see, it has a scoring category. It has the category points designation, which you probably can't see, but I'll zoom in on a better image in a second. And then obviously your parody team card logo, and a pretty cool, unique background design. We call it the parody team background. This is specific for each of the teams in the league, and there's some really cool, unique designs. There's some rare designs, epically rare designs. There's kind of a little scattered mix across the entire collection here, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. So backing out on this, and let's pop in and take a look at some of the playing cards that are currently out there. So this is the collection of the playing cards. Each of these have a specific owner that's already in the league. So let's just pick one at random. Let's go here. So this particular card is an offensive category card. It will award points for turnovers. So every time this team turns the ball over, the owner of this card is awarded 10 points. For every point this team scores throughout the game, this owner is deducted 0.1 points. And the background on this particular card is Arizona. At this very moment, the backgrounds are not gamified, but that will be changing shortly. So the backgrounds will play into the scoring mechanic. Again, it's all going to be done in a fair construct where we're not going to pull any surprises, where people who already bought and minted and we're eligible, like there will be some unique elements that coincide with the actual games week to week as well.
Here's what I was saying with that. We'll get into the backgrounds more on it. But again, one of the things, you don't need to keep your score or anything. This is automatically done for you. So point one, every point that happens, this is something that your entire team, all 5 cards that you get will be added up and automatically for you, and the standings will be kept. The backgrounds are a lot of the stuff. They're not part of this playing card game at this stage. They could factor into some tiebreakers and things if needed. But we've spent a lot of time, running through last year's season and inputting some of the numbers in just to make sure that these game mechanics work, which they do. And Mike, you've done a shit ton of work on that, and it looks awesome. But the backgrounds we'll get into later. But that's where your rarities are going to come in. So think about it because this is a game, but it's also a collector. It's a collection. So there'll be utilities and perks or whatever the heck you want to call them that will be based on backgrounds as one component to it that we'll go after.
Yep, for sure. And again, as part of keeping track of your team score, in the NFT metadata, as well as the standings section of the website, which is not updated currently because there haven't been any games yet, all of the data and the scores will be updated. So actually in the metadata, you'll see that this card particularly scored -4 points based around however many points they scored. Now, these numbers that you see here are all based around the preseason. So you see that this subcategory on this particular playing card netted -4 points. They had 4 turnovers throughout the preseason, so that gave them a total of 40 points, which totals out this particular playing card as at 36 points over the course of the preseason. So these stats will be reset starting tomorrow, right before the season kicks off, and they will be updated every Tuesday following the weekend's games. So every Tuesday, you'll be able to pop in and you'll be able to see your particular playing card and the accumulated stats. That data will also be available on the website in the standings section, as well as an updated list of who ranked higher in not only the particular categories, but the overall score as well. So once again, kind of very little you have to do as part of just kind of sitting back, enjoying the games and yelling at the TV when they score and cheering them on when they throw interceptions. I mean, that's really your role as a fantasy owner at this particular stage. The other elements of the card are also incorporated in the metadata, just in case that there's any confusion with the colors or anything like that. So you'll be able to see that the team card in this case is Minnesota's parody team logo, as well as the background is the Arizona color pattern, and the scoring category, of course, is offense. So all of these are designated for each of the particular cards, which is a really cool way to safely and securely store this information on the blockchain.
Yep, and those that don't have a digital wallet or don't have an interest in that, which I think most people are not in that camp, there's a vault. Think of it like a safety deposit box that we will store yours for, so you can still play the game even if you don't go in that space. One of the things that I think is we should do right now is bring up, as my landscapers are coming, bring up somebody that doesn't know anything about sports, just so us rambling idiots can stop and hear the questions from someone that doesn't know anything about sports. But again, this game is simple where anybody can join in and have fun. So maybe she'll like sports. Let's bring up Hey.
Are you putting me on the spot right now?
You came in here, so I think.
Do I have to put my camera on?
No, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Thank you, Taylor.
Wear a bag over your head.
For jumping it.
I got a new haircut. I'll show you guys. I'll show you.
Okay.
Guys. For the stream, for the subs.
Oh, there you go. That's not a filter.
Great.
No, yeah, it's not styled or anything, so sports people don't judge me. But
that's not styled. That looks pretty styled to me. So
thank you. Yeah,
cool.
It was a chop that was needed. Let's talk about the chops here. What's going on?
Yes. Let's talk about this stuff. So you are what owner's pass are you?
I'm Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. So it's the
Captain Falcons.
The Captain Falcons. Yes. And it's cool. You got a second string logo, which some teams suck so bad that you can make fun of them twice, and the Browns are definitely one of them. GI knows that. So you got one of the rare second string logos, which is like a poop emoji on the Browns. So do you know what cards you got from there?
I could tell you.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go into your wallet and
Let's
see.
snoop in
Maybe we
her
should.
wallet a little bit here.
Yep,
Anyone have a link? No,
we got it.
There you go.
Okay.
Your offensive card looks like San Francisco.
Okay.
We already covered what those points pattern look like. So again, every time San Francisco turns the ball over, and whatever their final score is at the end of the game, multiply that by -0.1, and that will be your accumulated weekly score.
Well, that could be good too because they have a second-year quarterback. I don't think they're going to be any good this year for the offense side. So offense seems like a good card. What else? What else does she have, Mike?
Defense, got the jokes, which is
All
always a
right.
good card
That's
to
one
have.
of my favorite logos. Yep, and that's a good card to have no matter what category and what year. So that is a
Spoken
good
like
one.
a true New England fan, but as a fan of the other New York team, I really don't care. Rag on them all you want to.
Can I ask
Defense.
a question?
Yes,
You just did.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
I hate that that was my joke, dude, and you keep using that. And you not only do you use it, you're more quick-witted than me.
I did not get it from you.
You're quick-witted than me, so you say it faster. But this was me, dude. That's my joke. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm taking it next
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the takeaways and the points allowed in the whole collection, what is like the max? I don't know if that's the right question, but like what is the most negative or most positive that those numbers can be? And do they have any like rarities associated with them if they are like really good cards? Like what are the really, really good cards that you really want to get?
So all those numbers are actually based around the final numbers will be tallied based on the results of the actual team game and performance in the game. So we don't know what those numbers look like now, other than we know that New York is going to be a horrible team. So the chances of them allowing points are very high. So if they average 25 points per game or 26 points per game, that means they're going to average 13 points per subcategory on this particular card. If they don't get any turnovers, like if they don't take the ball away, they don't lose points. If they have a tremendous defensive season where they turn the ball over 2 times a game, then they lose 4 points on this card. So these numbers are really just to gamify the actual game. The ones that offer the most points on each of the scoring categories is really dependent on how those stats play itself out. But what we've seen is that the win-loss probably has the biggest swing.
This is your most important card of the 5. This win-loss.
Yeah. So every time the team would lose, no matter what, you get 25 points added to your overall score for the week. If they win the game, you lose 5 points.
Yep.
Now, these might seem on really extreme sides of the spectrum, but when we built out the scoring mechanic, this was a really, really important card for balancing it out and generating the average weekly points that's very consistent with fantasy football.
But for what you need to know, this is the parody logo of the Ravens, and you just want to look and see the Ravens lost. Doesn't matter if they lost by 1 or 100. You're going to get 25 points if they lose, and it's probably the most important skewed card of these 5. So you want to make sure that you have a bad team in the win-loss, and I think this is actually a good team, which is bad in this world.
Now I know who I'm booing for.
Yes, you don't want the Ravens to win, and gotcha. Your hand was looking good until then. Now I'm not too threatened by it.
So special teams is actually another pretty important card. Teams tend to punt the ball an average of anywhere between 3 and 6 times a game, depending on however many drives they have and how much they're moving the ball.
Well, most people get what the punts are, but this is perfect to have Taylor up here. Do you know what a punt is? If you get to guess what a punt is, what was it?
Is this where you kick it?
Yes.
Yep,
that is what they do. Kick it. There's one time that they do kick it.
I'm going to pull up the rule book because I got this directly from the American Football Rule Book Association.
Who the hell reads that?
Does exist.
Riveting.
Mike would.
I mean, dude, a lot of work has been put into this project, man. I mean, like
Yes.
we sorted rule books and everything. All right, so punts kicked include any play involving the drop kick of a football by the possessing team with the intent of forfeiting possession.
Okay, that's all right. So for Taylor's purposes,
Mhm.
when teams, you have to get 10 yards, right? So you have 10 yards,
10
right?
yards.
Right? You
Yeah.
have 4 tries to get over that. So if you don't do it by the 4th try, the other team gets the ball wherever you are on the field. So if
Okay.
you're closer to your end zone, like where they're going to score, you're going to want to punt this thing, right? So it comes up 4th down. You don't want to go for it most of the time, unless you're like a genius like Bill Belichick. Then you can do these things. You're going to want to kick the ball, which is you get it, you kick it to the other team. They try to run it back. Wherever you tackle them is where their offense starts the ball. So punts are bad for your teams because you're giving away the possession, but they're great for here because they're giving you points.
Okay.
+3 for every punt that is kicked. Now, on the flip side of this particular card, field goals and extra points typically award teams points, right? So you get 1 point for an extra point and 3 points for a field goal traditionally. In this particular game, though, you will lose 1 point every time the ball crosses the uprights. So the nominal value of field goals and extra points makes no difference. As long as the ball crosses the upright, that is what will deduct points from your particular playing card.
So anytime, right? Because if
I like this translation. Keep going, John.
Okay, good. Well, maybe I shouldn't. If you like that, then I
No,
won't
this is
go
like
with it.
Mike's giving us the like unabridged version, and then ironically you're giving
He's
us
like
the bridge.
osmosis, the diffusion of cells to an impermeable surface, and I'm like, your shit goes.
And you're
through
like,
shit.
in real
It
language.
goes through shit. But the so there's other ways to score, right? After you score a touchdown, which we know, you have the ability to kick the ball from a very short distance through the uprights, and you get 1 point. That's bad. And there are other times if you're close enough on the field on 4th down, but you can't, you're most likely not going to pick up the first down. You have the ability to kick it from wherever you are on the field, and if it gets into the uprights, you get 3 points. Right? That's in the real game. This game is if you get an extra point or a field goal, either one of those things is equal to the same, and it's bad for you in this card.
Okay.
So
Right, Mike,
anytime the ball travels through the big yellow bars, you lose a point.
Thank you for that. Okay. It's all coming together.
Okay. That works. That works. But that's not true because this genius Bill Belichick 1 point fake snapped it through the end zone and it went through the bars. So I wouldn't want Taylor to think she's going to get a point for that when it was just a genius move to get a safety to win the game against the Broncos, whatever.
She'll have to well, there you go. He gave up points to win the game. That's exactly kind of the concept here, right? So all right, well, let's move on to penalties because this one is a very simple and basic card. It serves one purpose, and it's to gain yourself points. So anytime there's a penalty yard throughout the game, your team will be awarded 0.1 points. Now, why is it penalty yards and not penalties or anything like that? I mean, penalty yards can add up very, very quickly, especially in today's kind of game where there's a lot of pass interference penalties, personal fouls, those kind of things. Those penalty yards add up pretty quick. So you're probably looking anywhere between, I guess, 7 to 15 points a game per playing card, depending on what the team does.
And is penalties a common metric that are reported? Like if a sport, one of the games are going on and I'm Googling the results, like I'll be able to easily see that. Yeah.
Yes. All of these stats are very easily accessible. Any of the NFL, any of the football stat databases, they will be able to, you'll be able to sort through these very, very easily. Or, you could just go to unfan.xyz, look at the standings or your metadata because it will be accumulated there.
Yes.
There you go.
So that's another cool part about this. It might actually be somebody's reference point for knowing what the teams did that week. What did we miss? I think we got it all, huh? Did we cover defense in detail?
Yes,
we did.
You got defense too. What was their off? The Ravens were offense. Oh no, Ravens win-loss. Offense was San Francisco. We got your team. So those are your 5 cards. These are your starter pack. So we wanted to design this thing where there was some randomness in like a pack of cards that you open up, but we wanted to do if like people are buying into the league, that they have every ability to play it out of the gate. So this is when you get your owner's pass, and this is kind of why we did it. GI was very instrumental in figuring this part of it out. This is why we have the owner's pass, and then you get these 5 cards, because we want to make sure that people can add to their collection by adding the cards, but we want to make sure that when they do buy in, that they have every card they need, and they don't technically need to buy any more cards to be able to compete and play. But that was important to us, and that's kind of one of the reasons that we did it that way. So that's it. Those are your starter pack. And then Mike, it looks like you're going into ways people can kind of add to their playing deck if they feel they don't have like if they have the Patriots and all their cards, and it's like, shit, man, this is the wrong league for that. How would I improve it to find a bad team?
Might be a good year to have all the Patriots.
It actually is gonna, unfortunately.
Well, what we did was, which was a really, really cool concept, and keeping with the traditions of fantasy football, is we created a free agency pool, in this case, a free agency wallet, where we added certain playing cards into the wallet and just put them up for sale. So because your starting pack gives you a guaranteed 1 of every scoring category, that by default acts as your starting lineup. But let's say you got a card that you don't like the matchup that particular week. You can easily come and visit the free agency section, which, again, on the website, there's a free agency portal here where you can either mint one of the ones that are, you could purchase one of the ones for sale using OpenSea, which will bring you to this page, and you can see which ones are available. This is open to anybody in the league to purchase it. So 0.02 ETH. You'll be able to pick up any cards in your particular category, and then that is a card that you ultimately retain ownership of. So nobody else will be able to own that same exact card. You will, however, be forced to select 1 card per scoring category in order to set your weekly lineup. So just because you were given a defensive card, if you select this card, you will still have to set your lineup with that card in order for this points to be eligible in your final score. And we'll jump into that in a second. For anybody that's not into NFTs or anything Web3 related, we have the exact same free agency pool listed here on the website. You can simply just pick up those cards. If you don't have a wallet added to your account, we'll secure those in the team locker /vault. And then if you ever decide you want to get into Web3, we'll just transfer those assets over to your digital wallet, where you will have complete control and ownership on the blockchain. But in the meantime, you will still be able to pick up your free agency cards here accordingly. You just pick whichever one you want, complete the checkout process, and it will be sent directly to you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the lineups.
Or you could mint a random one if you just like that like your chances on stuff. You can buy one that you can mint one, which is again buy, that you don't know what you're going to get, and then just randomly going to get. You don't know what category it's going to be. You don't know what team. You don't know what rarity, background, all of those things. But that's another way. It's just a little bit more risky. Roll of the dice.
And it's at a discounted price too.
That's true. Yes.
You don't know what you're getting. You don't know if it's good, bad. You don't even know if it's the category you're looking for. Maybe you just love the logos and you just want to add them to your overall collection. This is a really cool, fun way to mint it and then see what you got on the reveal, which as soon as you mint it and it goes into your wallet, you'll be able to see it that way.
Yeah, it's around $15 right now for this digital collectible NFT that you would own and mint. So it is less and discounted as well.
Perfect. So we're going to stick with Captain Falcon's team here.
All right.
And we're going to go and we're going to try to set a lineup. So you cannot access this page unless you registered your team, which we did not go over, which maybe we should go over that first just to kind of showcase how that all looks and how that gets there. So going to unfan.xyz for the first time after you purchase the owner's pass, you will see in the top right-hand corner, register your team or log into your existing account. So we're going to register our team. You would just pick whatever UNfantasy team name you want, and that will be added to your owner's pass metadata and artwork. You throw in your email address just so we can send you some updates and information, like access to this video. The owner's pass token ID, just to recap where that is, it's the number that's in the red circle on your particular owner's pass. Oh, look, that's my unborn son, the bladder kickers. So token ID number 30. Yeah, my wife indirectly came up with the name.
That's good.
Great.
And then, if you have your Ethereum wallet address.
If she directly came up with it, whose bladder is she kicking? That's the question. Is that yours?
He's kicking her bladder, but like she kept saying it so frequently over the last couple of weeks. I was like, this has to be a fantasy team name.
That is pretty good. That is good. And I changed to Captain Falcons. I don't know if I spelled it right or not, but I changed Taylor's name here to Captain Falcons.
Okay, great. I mean, yeah, you got it. Good job, Spy.
All right. Oh yeah. Well.
So once you have your team registered, you would just simply log in. I'm just going to use the default that I have. All right. And then now you're eligible to set your team lineup on a week-to-week basis. Now, again, if you just have the starting pack, you don't need to do this. You obviously can if you want to, just to try to understand what it's like. But this is really intended for anybody who has purchased or acquired additional cards and they want to play the matchups of those particular cards. So using Captain Falcon's team, so token IDs number 151 through 155. I'm just going to take this and put it here for ease of reference and then come back here. So if Captain Falcon was to set their lineup, they would look at their offensive card and see that their offensive card has token ID number 155. Their defensive card is 151. Their special teams is 154. Their wins-loss is 152. And their penalty yards is 153. Make sure you throw the team name in here. And once you hit submit, a success message will pop up that says your UNfantasy lineup has been confirmed. We would then get that information and just do a quick cross-reference to make sure that you are the owner of those particular playing cards. If there's an error, if there's a mistake, if you're trying to cheat and you're trying to pick my cards because my cards are going to be the ones that win this league, we will notify you, and you would just have to come up with the replacement token IDs before that given game starts. So let's talk about the deadlines on when people have to do this, because obviously the games start at different times throughout the week.
Any questions so far, Captain Falcon, just as a curiosity from where we're at? You get in this game? I'm just on mute. I think,
I'm on mute, but I'm following. I'm
cool.
here, I'm listening. I'm taking mental notes. No questions.
All right.
I'll pop in with one soon.
Perfect. Good job.
Cool. So the idea, I guess, is that we want to get these lineups in place 15 minutes before the team's scheduled kickoff on that given week. So I'll give you an example. If New York is playing Philly at 1:05 on Sunday, the deadline to set those particular cards in whatever category they are would be 12:50 p.m. Eastern time. So you would just have to make sure that that token ID is inputted and the lineup is submitted before that timeline. If New York was playing Philly on Monday Night Football, you have until Monday night to input those cards. However, any additional cards that you would potentially replace them with have already played for their given weekly game.
Okay, so you don't have to. You're not locking in your entire team when it starts. The week starts. You could technically the Monday night game. You could wait and see which one to use.
No. So if you have, let's say you have two defensive cards. Let's say you have New York and you have Indianapolis. If Indianapolis plays their game on Sunday, you have to make the decision before the earlier game in which team you're going to play. So you can't just sit there and say, well, I'm going to wait and see what Indianapolis did and then maybe substitute that with New York on Monday night. Mm-hmm. You won't be able to do that. Once Indianapolis is in your lineup and their team game starts, that lineup position locks, and you will not be able to change that lineup position.
Got it.
Does that make sense? testing out Captain Falcons?
Yeah, I'm nodding yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't tell because
I
you
can't-
still got like your hair is the new haircut. It's like it doesn't flow.
I know
So
it
we
doesn't.
couldn't
You
tell if you
can't
were
really
moving.
see. I'll have to
No,
go like
just teasing.
this next
There you
time.
go. Yeah, you got to get a little more head movement with it.
So that's really the basics of setting the lineup. So the lineup will be set, and it will remain set every time. Like every time you set your lineup, it becomes the new default. So until you change it again, it will remain your starting lineup. So let's say the week after, you still have that same lineup that you set the previous week. It will carry over into that next week's games. So be sure to pay attention to when your teams are on a bye week. You obviously don't want that team playing because you will not accumulate points for that particular category if that team is on a bye.
And just to make sure that I'm clear, the token ID that we're entering in these is the actual token ID on OpenSea.
Correct. On OpenSea or actually in the emails. So there has been a couple emails that have been sent out, and those particular emails have the token ID embedded in the email with the specific category, the team card, and some of the other attributes of the particular playing card.
Whose team is this? The email.
This is Andrew's team.
Okay. All right. So just trying to figure out my competition here. Got a decent team. All right.
And the lineups will be set, by the way, heading into the week. The standings section will be updated with the teams that are in the league, as well as which teams are set in their starting lineup. So, A, you'll be able to verify that the team that you set is set up properly within the league and just do a double check on that. And B, you're going to get to see, some of the other teams and what strategies they're playing in. And, obviously make fun of them and do a little shit talking from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the shit talking. What do we throw together here to make that happen?
Is it a question, or are you just pausing for dramatic effect?
It was a question, but
Okay.
now I think I have to be more dramatic to satisfy you.
Okay.
Are you asking me?
Can you ask the question? I actually forgot the question. Could you say it again? Ask it again.
Can I follow?
The platform we built to do some shit talking.
Oh, yeah. We're in it. I joined it yesterday.
Oh, yes. Yep. Telegram, which I know nothing about. I don't know how to do it, but it's a simple text system where you can jump in there, shit talk. You can trade cards if you want. I wouldn't trust Mike as far as I could throw him, and I'm very weak because I haven't eaten today, and that makes me weak. But I also don't go to the gym. But you can jump in there and shit talk, trade, sell, buy, whatever. It'll be a cool way to communicate and talk a little trash, good, clean, fun trash. But bring your A game because Captain Falcon is pretty damn good at the trash talk game.
It's true.
Well, it is an essential piece of any fantasy league. So keeping up with tradition, we had to include it in some way, shape, or form here.
Yes. Yep. Any other surprise questions? Text me first so I can get with it.
Mhm. This is so good.
Yep.
Trying to see what other important details we missed that we should really cover here.
The backgrounds and things, because again, this is a collectible. So the backgrounds we can chat about that. I can go over, and I'm putting together a Medium article or blog article that kind of outlines this stuff and from this video and distills it down a little bit. But that Captain Falcon will help me with. But we can go over there. I think I can share my screen and show some of these, and you can narrate it through, Mike, if you want.
Yeah, let me just answer Aunt Lisa's question real quick. The logos are actually in the playbook towards the end. So you can see the full collection of all the playing cards that are going to be in the entire collection. There are all 32 teams, plus a couple alternate logos for a handful of teams as well. So take a look at them if you want to see the entire collection here.
All right. So backgrounds. So backgrounds really are what determine the rarity of this collection. One of the components, really, it's backgrounds. It is combinations, like full sets, which we'll chat about, and it is second string logos. So we've said before that some of these teams are so bad that they deserve two parody logos. So all of those things together, those are more rare. All of those things together is what ultimately will put together the rarity components of this. But these are you guys can see the screen, I assume. Let me just jump in more. I don't have when I plug in my mic and stuff, I don't have the ability to move around as much because I don't have my mouse. But you guys can see this?
Yep.
Okay. I thought you're just waiting because waiting for me to fall on my face. Didn't have to wait very long. So the backgrounds, the first one is plain old common, and those are the team colors. All 32 teams, just with their base color and a highlight color, right? So in the metadata, which you can find on OpenSea, it'll tell you or that email that Mike sent you. You can see which specific backgrounds you have, and these are the common ones. Now, not all commons are bad, right? Because if you have what we're calling full sets, like if you have a Cleveland Browns logo and you have a Cleveland Browns background, that looks solid, and that is something that will play into some of the utility and some of the collectible stuff that we'll have here. So most of these, and do you have the exact number? Is it Mike, of how many plain old common backgrounds there are in the collection?
I do not have that number with me. I think you asked me earlier.
Yeah, it's I believe it's like 480 or something. It's basically it's most of the backgrounds are going to be plain old common. You'll have another one we call uncommonly bad, and these are backgrounds that there's 12 of them total, all making fun of a team and taking a piss out of them some way, shape, or form. So you have the names will be in the metadata, but this background would be New England, and it is what's the name of that? It's
recording in progress.
Recording in progress, right? So recording in progress is taking a stab at New England allegedly filming practices and all that stuff. The next is Pick Me, which is the San Francisco background, but our old friend Colin Kaepernick used to throw a lot of interceptions and is now looking to jump back in the league. This is Mike's background, for the record, and but it's also a hilariously funny one. We have Boo Santa, which Philadelphia Eagles fans were famous for either throwing snowballs at Santa or booing him. We had both. It was what?
It was both.
Oh yeah, all right. Hopefully it was not yellow covered snow, because that would be like ultra mean.
Knowing Philly, I wouldn't put it past them.
That's true. That's true. The bounty hunters, which is it's a roll of what do they call that shit? Not toilet paper.
Paper towels.
Paper towels. See, I don't do a lot of the cleaning in the house, which is a reference to the New Orleans Bounty Gate, which the coaches were paying players to hurt people, I guess. So Cheesy, which is the Green Bay background, and that is I think everybody from Wisconsin that is a Packers fan is cheesy, or they at least sound cheesy. They could be cool, but that accent just it's not doing it for me. So Cheesy, this is another amazing Mike background. Let you say it, Mike.
How about them 90s?
Yes. So the Cowboys, which is the Cowboys background, were notorious for going out and having a good time, and they haven't really done anything since. So, but they were saying, how about them Cowboys? Well, how about them 90s? It's been a long time since they won. This
is one of the more clever ones I love. This
one?
Yeah.
Yep. Mew came up with this back in the day too, for calling it, but it's shit out of luck. The Indianapolis Colts used to have their franchise quarterback that was going to save the day, and retired super early. So they have no luck on their team, and they suck, man. So if you have a Colts, I think the Colts are going to suck. So I think it's a good card. Just Lose Baby, which is the Raiders background referencing Al Davis, famous owner, whose son has a haircut also, Captain Falcon. And he said, "Just win, baby. This is just lose, baby." The Living in the Past is what this was called. And this is the 72 Dolphins because they had this quote unquote perfect season, even though there's only 14 games, not a lot of competition. And they just love to talk about their perfect season and the only team to ever do it. But, it is, I don't know how good of a feat that is. This one is awesome. And this one is not out there yet. It's uncommon background, but it hasn't been minted in the first batch of these owners passes yet. So it's the No Names, which is the Commanders background or the Redskins background or the Washington football team. I think they're just as confused as anybody, but the No Names background is out there. The Mike,
there's also not anybody on their team who you know.
That is it. That is true, right? If you have a good pun when it's double-sided pun. This one is you created this. Mike didn't know you were such a great graphic designer, but it's like one of those tests where you see you look at it and sometimes you see an old lady, but if you look at it differently, it's like this beautiful lady. Have you ever seen that image? I don't know, but maybe you don't go to the same psychiatrist that I do, I guess. But this one is the butt fumble. So nothing but fumbles, my team name, but also the name of this background referencing the Jets quarterback who just ran into his own offensive lineman's butt and dropped the ball. Patriots picked it up, scored a touchdown, one of many. So that's a great one. And finally, the 12th one is Wish You Were Here, which is the San Diego Chargers. So people still call them San Diego because that's what they're used to. It's a shame that they are in LA with no fans, but that's just how it goes in the world of money. So been super long-winded with this, but you got your plain old common, you got your uncommonly bad. Next is your rarely good. And these are like blunders that happen that are a little bit more known and kind of suck compared to if this is your real team in life, but it's good to have them in this world. So 28-3 is the background for the Falcons when they famously blew a 28-3 third quarter lead against, you want to finish the sentence, Mike?
Tom Brady,
the Patriots. Yes. So that is, I want that back. I feel like I need that background. And it'd be awesome to have that background with the Falcons, which I don't think is out there yet. The next one is wide right. And that is when the Bills had a chance to beat the Giants. Should have beat the Giants. The Giants are lucky to go out of there with a Super Bowl ring, but a good kicker for the Bills. Missed it wide right. Love what you did there with that icon. Again, part of these rarely good backgrounds. Next one is, what did you call this one, Mike? Genius?
It's pass mode. You came up with that one.
Okay, cool. I was trying to call you a genius, but I was calling myself one, which is
I threw it right back at you, man.
Intentional or not, I don't know.
Zoom in on that one because that one's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So pass mode, everybody remembers when the Seattle Seahawks were about to win the game against who, Mike?
Against Tom Brady.
Okay, the Patriots, yeah. So they were really close at the 1 or 2 yard line. They had one of the best running backs that his goal was just knocking people over, and he did it very well, probably one of the best in history. And they said beast mode. So all of these, there's an amazing video on YouTube of just watching reactions of pompous Seattle fans filming themselves with this victory reaction that they're about to happen. And they're saying beast mode. And then the Seattle Seahawks called a pass. Patriots intercepted it and won. So pass mode is a very rarely good background. This one is not
questionable pass interference call, but we'll leave it at that.
That no one even brought. I haven't even really heard that at all, but I get it. This one's not really a huge blunder. It's just kind of more recent, right? So I feel like maybe next year, whoever loses the Super Bowl this year will have a background that is rarely good with this one. So the Bengals, whatever you want to call them, are the losers of the Super Bowl last year. So they didn't get the ring. They got a ring pop in this world. And I like the name of this stuff. It's old school, but they used to have this this guy for the Bengals that did the Icky Shuffle. So this background is named the Sticky Shuffle for the ring pop. And if you've ever dropped one of those in between the seats of your car, it gets sticky. It gets sticky.
It'll pick up every lint and piece of sand that is under the seat in that car.
That seems like it's less expensive than like those quarters that you got at the to vacuum out your car after you go to South Beach. So it's got nothing. It won't help your sunburn though. Actually, scratch that. I've heard if you just rub it all over your face and stuff, it's going to help that sunburn. So check it out.
I will not test it and let you know how it doesn't work out.
Okay. Last but definitely not least in this is the epic blunder backgrounds, which are diamonds, and that's the background. And these represent the perfect seasons, the real perfect seasons where the teams did not win any games. So you had the I'll zoom in here. You had the Cleveland Browns. I forget the year, but most people aren't paying attention to any of the years.
I think GI would know.
He would know. Yep. Those people in Cleveland like love misery, man. So like they're perfectly suited for the Browns. QB wanted, which is a double entendre, but we won't get into that part. But the Browns seem to have always needed a QB, man. They haven't really had a good quarterback for a long time. So that
it's been a revolving door for sure.
0-16. This is the perfect season with the Lions when they went 0-16. And if you were around one of my dumbass high school friends and you did that, they would punch you in the arm if you looked at it. So luckily we're in good company here, and it's just verbal attacks, not physical. This is like what I call the Holy Grail one. It is the most rare even of these. So there's only 10 of these, and the 10 of the each of the Lions and the QBs wanted in the whole collection. There's only 5 of these. And you speak about what it is, Mike, because you actually was your idea, and again, some graphic design skills on this.
Yeah, zoom in a little bit, but I guess you can call it the creme de la creme. It is the creamsicle uniform of the 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who in their expansion season went 0-14. And there was a lot of, criticism about the team not being able to keep up with the league and everything like that. I mean, the punter actually missed a punt. He dropped the ball and missed the kick. That's the infamous.
That would suck. That would suck
That's
in this
the
league.
most embarrassing moment.
What would happen in this league for points? That's a good point. We didn't think about. Like, what if
you didn't read my rule book, man? An official punt has to pass the line of scrimmage. So it's actually if it does not pass the line of scrimmage, I believe it's a backwards lateral, and the team can then pick it up and retains possession there. It almost acts like a muff punt.
All right.
But anyway, the second contributing factor besides the 0-14 season was arguably the ugliest uniforms ever created.
For sure.
The orange, red, and white combinations, they called it the creamsicle uniform combo, and we decided to make that the rarest in the collection because they are the godfathers of unperfect seasons.
The creamsicle of the creamsicle, the creme de la creamsicle.
So we spent a lot of time talking about these backgrounds, and even though they don't really factor into the game mechanic at this point, they are going to be important for the overall collection. So we don't want people to kind of miss out on those particular elements. It is going to be important moving forward, not only for this season, but heading into other seasons as well. You're definitely going to want to make sure that you have a nice supply and you get your hands on some of these pretty rare, cool backgrounds.
Yes. And again, look, people that are in the NFT space understand what utilities are, or perks, or whatever the heck you want to call them in a lot of ways. Like this is where, like, it is going to be worth it having some of these rarer ones. So it is going to be fun to collect, and you don't necessarily have to have you can keep it for next year, but there will be reasons to hold on to these diamond background perfect season ones as well. I mean, you might get little ones. I'm not even saying anything, but like these are some of our old merch, man. We had this canvas print, which I just love. This Dolphins canvas print. I was going through the old closet. Unfortunately, I don't unfortunately I don't fit anymore into them. But we have things like this, which is the basketball logos, right? So we didn't just do the football stuff. So you can see there's a bigger plan. And I'm gonna sneeze for not washing that in a long time. But the Los Angeles Posers. But there's going to be reasons to hold there, little reasons like T-shirts and merch, but also some of the game mechanics and some of the bigger plays that we have here. We want to make sure that we're adding some utility to hold on to those ones.
And that's where the owner's pass comes in, right? Because like the owner's pass and the franchise, it's going to segue. It's going to come all the way through in all these various different sports and all these other future games that we have in store. But forget about that, man. At this point, we really want to talk about this season and have a lot of fun with that. I saw a question pop through: is how could we ask about team construction? So let's answer that. So the team construction, when you buy your owner's pass, you're given a starter pack of 5 playing cards, guaranteed 1 per scoring category. Now, they're all random. We don't know which ones you're going to get. You don't know which ones you're going to get, but you are guaranteed to at least get 1 playing card per scoring category. So that acts as your default lineup. If you wanted to pick up other ones, either in the free agency pool, you wanted to wheel and deal and make an arrangement with another owner, or if you just wanted to take a shot in the dark and mint more, so that you have more playing cards to select from, you can add that basically to your bench or to your overall roster. And then each week you would just set your standard lineup, 1 playing card per scoring category. You submit that on the website, unfan.xyz, and then you sit back and you root for those teams to suck.
Does that answer your question? I think it does, man. I think that was a great way.
So let's talk about one more thing with that same, I guess, topic. The free agency wallet, which again, there is an entire section dedicated to that on the website, unfan.xyz. The free agency will be updated weekly. So when we update the standings on Tuesday, there will be additional free agency cards that are added to that collection. And those will be available until somebody scoops it up, somebody purchases it through the website, or the season ends. So definitely want to make sure that you keep an eye on the free agency pool, free agency market, and also pay attention to what some other people are doing as part of some of the cards they're picking up. Because if they're picking up cards and they don't want to use one card that you particularly might want to use, you can wheel and deal and get a pretty decent trade out of it.
Yep. So there you go. So you could again mint a random one. You could go to search this this is a great idea again, Mike, to have these free agents there, so you kind of know what you're going to get. You can know what you're going to try to improve it. It's almost like a free agency wire in traditional fantasy football in a lot of ways, because they're here for everybody to see and have a shot at. And there is some good ones. Linda mentioned that there is a diamond background here somewhere, a perfect season background, but there's also a full set I saw, which look super clean somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So this is what a full set would look like. So Cincinnati logo, Cincinnati
You're
background.
not, Sharon, man.
I'm not?
No.
Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. Dude, you totally do you have a booger in my nose too you want to talk about? Tell me about.
I want you
don't
to
want
leave
to tell
it
me
there.
about it, or you just want to you just let me hang too long on that one. But yes, all right, my bad. This is what is this? Okay, and I kind of have to finish now. This is what the full sets look like, because did we talk about full sets and I just forgot?
No, you didn't.
Okay,
you didn't. So talk about that for a sec.
So full sets are again, everything is randomly generated, so there's no set amount of full sets. And full sets is when you have a team logo, like in this case the Cincinnati logo with the Cincinnati background. Looks clean, it looks like it belongs, it's perfect. And they're definitely more rare out there, and there will be reason to hold on to some of these full sets as well. We learned that term from the Battle Bunnies, which is our project with the great Frank and Krista Linatra, and we learned a lot about collectibles and rarities. We learned everything we know basically from them in that world. So full sets. I never thought I'd get so excited about this type of world, but full sets I've been geeking out about trying to snag them, and hopefully I mint them.
It's possible.
Anything.
They're out there.
Yep. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
looks like Linda snagged the Carolina one, huh?
Okay. Well, there is no longer a background, a perfect season background in there, but there's again 10 of the Lions, 10 of the Browns, and then 5 of the Creamsicles, and I think there are 2 already out there of the Creamsicles, so not too many left. Not too many left. All right, man. So anything else that we cover anything?
I think we kind of covered the basics. I mean, I'd really like to open up the floor to any questions. I mean, if you have it, throw it in the chat. We're going to throw this video on the website once it's done, just to kind of have it as a point of reference. I think, we're going to plan on doing some of these pretty often, just to kind of keep up with what's happening on the week-to-week basis, which cards are available out there that could have generated some pretty decent points. Again, this is going to be a pretty interactive, fun experience all throughout the season.
Yes.
Starting tomorrow with kickoff, man. So excited to get the season underway, and excited to see, I don't know, is anybody playing Buffalo and LA? Any of their cards?
I don't. Maybe some are. I don't know if they should. I hope they are. But again, their default lineup, if somebody minted them and didn't update their lineup, and they don't want to do that, I'm sure there is somebody potentially playing it. What is so we're also going to come back and talk some shit too, hopefully weekly with these things, right? So we'll be recapping some teams, having some fun stuff. We're bringing back some of our old content. So that's huge news that we didn't even talk about, let alone skirt over. But the original band of all of this stuff is getting back together. In terms of Penny Prince, the famous comedian that was our voiceover for our old Parody Tees logos, he's playing, so you get to play with him. Of course, Ashman Tunes never went anywhere. He's sticking around, and he's playing in this league. So it was really the 5 of us that was an Aussie that started this whole stuff. So we got some content coming, which is going to be some of this stuff and more structured trash talk. We'll have some guests on it, and we'll have some cool animated content for it too.
Yeah, excited for that, because we had a blast making those scripts and that content, and the Helmet Talk series was amazing. Like, all that was really a lot of fun. The one final thing that I think is pretty important here, and I threw it in the email that just kind of drove some people to watch this video live with us, but this is also a unique league where you can join at any point throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have friends that you're showcasing this to, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I would have joined that," they really can. They're going to be given that same starter pack, and those points will be retroactively added to their owner's pass and their profile from the start of the season. So it would just be like they started at week 1. Although the advantage, I guess, that most people in the league will have at this point is that they get to set their lineups week to week, versus if you join in week 6, you're stuck with the points accumulated between weeks 1 and 5.
That's the beauty of this too, man, is that you could mint it at the end of the season, and the 5 random combinations could be like all Pittsburgh Steelers, who are the worst team, right, Linda? Or could be the worst team that gives you the best points. So these are it's a forever league, man, in a lot of ways, right? So you own these digital collectibles. Everybody that jumps in with the owner's pass is going to transfer over next year, so there's going to be no buy-in next year, which is cool. And because they're teams and not players, and when you have one-hit wonder type players like Eli Manning and stuff, and you get them on your fantasy team, you think they're going to be good, they're never good, and then they retire, you got to draft a new player. But the Giants, unfortunately, are not going anywhere, and they're around to annoy us, and in this case, entertain us for a long time. So the teams, this can be played forever, and we intend to play forever, right?
It's the idea. But
Yep.
first things first, one yard at a time here. Really pumped to be a part of this, man. Really pumped to get, so many people into it so far. The art is amazing. I love seeing the collection out there. I love seeing the laughs about it. I love seeing the comments about it. Look, let's just put everything else aside and have a lot of fun this year with this project, man. Because first of all, it's football. We all love football, except Taylor, who will love football at the end of the season.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, dude, it's a great way to go to war again with you, man, and really build something cool, fun, exciting, and something that will just live, especially on the blockchain, for eternity.
Yes. Yeah, man. And you're too sappy because I really want to reciprocate it, but this is unfantasy shit talking stuff. So I'm just going to be nice and not say anything back. Appreciate it, man. Because it's all reciprocated and likewise, and things coming full circle is awesome, man. And but did forget to mention some of the giveaways there that we'll be giving here. Like there's going to be sports related giveaways like NFTs. So there's a Vayner Sports Pass that we'll be giving away in this too. It's an NFT that has its own utilities. Those are things we're going to be giving away. We're going to be giving away battle bunnies. So there'll be battle bunnies from our work with Frank and Krista that you're going to be able to get to win in this league. There's also a lot of leagues that are starting to form, like these micro leagues. So there are marketing communities that have their own discords there's enough of them in this league that there's going to be a different they're going to still compete in the main one, but they're going to be able to plan to compete against each other and see who wins that marketing league. You could play in the food fight league. You can play in multiple leagues without having to have multiple teams, right? And that's the shitty part about one of traditional fantasy football. As fun as it is, if you have 4 or 5 teams, there's a lot to keep up with. Who's hurt? Did I update my lineup? This is something that's super, super easy to do, and it's going to have more fun because I'm going to be in 6 different leagues at least when all is said and done. I'm going to win all of them. I'm going to come in hot and talk some trash along the way, and you can come compete if you want, Mike. If you want.
No, I'm in the mode of losing this year, and that's what this league is all about. So, um, yeah, I'm not a fantasy football champion by any means, which I guess inherits to my benefit here. So watch the hell out, man.
Yes, and I'm just glad that Linda was not on this. The best hype woman I've seen in the business, started this off strong. I don't know if she's got like a hype closing of this because she said "Let the games begin," which was like perfect. Actually, that is the bomb, right? There we go. I think that's a good way to end it. Any questions? People can reach out. There's a chat on the website. If you know us, hit us up. But appreciate it. Feedback's going to be welcome as we go with this, but let's have fun together. And I'm out. Bomb. That's it. You got to leave me hanging like that, man.
No words, just a piece.
Oh man, you're living in the 90s or the 70s. I don't know which one. So we're cool.
I think I'd be more active if I was a Dallas Cowboy and living in the 90s. A little bit more